السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علم إبراهيم علمنا ومفهم سليمان فهمنا. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. Alhamdulillah, it's my pleasure to be here with you all for tonight's lecture. I'm guessing you guys have been here since Dhuhr. Inshallah. Allah yataqabbal minkum, may Allah accept it from you all. طيب, it's the season of going back to school. And so, I believe you already started school, sah? Started last week? You started madrasa this week or last week? This week. Tamam. So inshallah ta'ala, we're going to mention some pointers and some points that we can benefit from as youth and as parents, as guardians, that we can take heed from and fa'idah bi'idhnillahi ta'ala in the next 45 minutes or so, and then we can do question and answers. If you have any question or answers, then you can pen them down and we can ask it afterwards, inshallah ta'ala. طيب, going back to school is not just about having a new pencil case, uniform, new shoes, new jackets. There's a lot packed in this new academic year for you as youth, as children growing up, that can have effect on your lives. And so we're going to mention a number of benefits that you can have in your mind and have hadir ma'ak as you go through these years of school. And likewise points for parents, inshallah ta'ala. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. O you who believe, save yourselves and your family members from the hellfire. One of the greatest obligations upon the parents and guardians, and that could even include older siblings and uncles if they have nephews, is to save themselves first from the hellfire by staying away from the muharramat and fulfilling the obligations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has placed upon us. And secondly, saving our families first and foremost. Many people, even people that like to do khair and good to others, and maybe even give da'wah, maybe teach, maybe benefit others, one thing that they lack to do is to look after their families with regards to teaching them, benefiting them, giving them wa'di, admonition, bringing them closer, and loving for them what they love for themselves. In fact, they might find it easier to do so when it's a stranger and someone that they don't know. And they forget the closest of family members that they have. And that's why you find that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, خَيْرُكُمْ خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ وَأَنَا خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِي. The best of you is the best of you to your family, and I'm the best of you to my family. That your children, that your spouses, they see through you, the inner and the outer. And perhaps there's that layer of, they see your good side and your bad side. They see your happy moments, your angry moments. They see when you are frustrated, tired, maybe even your deficiencies and flaws. And so you think there's no point of calling them to khair and trying with them and the likes of these affairs. Kalla. Our example, our uswa, our qudwa, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, even though he was a man just like us, Allah Azza wa Jal favored with al-risala wa nubuwa, but he had his ups and downs. He had times he was happy, his times that he was angry. But he gave us the example of, even though that occurs, that you still have to be trying with your family. Kullukum ra'in. All of you are shepherds. You all in charge of a flock, as a father, as a parent, as a guardian. And you'll be responsible for the people that you are in charge of, the flock that Allah Azza wa Jalla, the responsibility has given you. طيب. Number one, the first benefit for children and the youth, and as Muslims, and as teenagers, and even adults, is that we find izzah, pride in our Muslim identity. The world that we live in today is a world where many of the youth are having an identity crisis. They don't know who they are. Am I Muslim? Am I trying to follow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or this football player, or this rapper, or this influencer, this famous person? Identity crisis, especially the society we live in today. Should I wear, the sister, should I wear hijab? Brother, should I wear khamis? Should I grow my beard? Should I pray salah? Or will the people judge me? What will the people think of me if I pray in front of them? Abshir, glad tidings. That you should have pride and honor and izzah in your Muslim identity. And the quicker you learn to embrace your Islamic identity, the quicker you'll find and learn that honor and pride is in that identity that you should be proud of. That people will respect you, people will honor you, people will give you weight when you are certain of your own identity. And the more you move away from that, the more people disrespect you. That you're trying to be something that you are not. That you're trying to pretend to be something that you are not. You are a Muslim, be proud. Raise your head high. Be proud, oh sister, to wear the hijab. Be proud that you pray the salah. Pray in front of the people. Be proud to say assalamu alaikum when you meet another Muslim. Be proud to carry your religion. Because in this is izzah and honor and success. It's mentioned that from the Khulafa al-Rashideen. By the way, who are the Khulafa al-Rashideen? There's how many? 5, 7, 8? How many Khulafa al-Rashideen? Kids? Do you know what Khulafa al-Rashideen is? Khulafa al-Rashideen are the 4 great companions of the Prophet ﷺ that led the Ummah after he passed away. Memorize, I'm going to ask you again. Number 1, the first 4. Number 1, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Number 2, Umar ibn al-Khattab. Number 3, Uthman bin Affan. Number 4, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali. All 4 of them were great 4 companions of the Prophet ﷺ, and they are the best 4 in virtue, and they go in that order. Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali. They are the Khulafa al-Rashideen. The second Khalifa, what's the name of the second Khalifa? Ahsant. Ta'al. Catch. طيب. Umar ibn Khattab, the second Khalifa, he was the leader of the Muslims for more than 10 years. And Palestine, may Allah Azza wa Jal free it, was freed by the Muslims in his time. Imagine they went to battle and they won, and now they were supposed to collect the keys for the city of Al-Quds, where Masjid al-Aqsa is. And the Christians that were there, they said, we're not going to give the keys except to the ruler himself, to the Khalifa himself. And so Umar bin Khattab, the Khalifa of the Muslimin, he came all the way from Medina and he traveled a month's journey to Palestine, to Palestine. And do you know how he traveled? He had a garment that was cut open, it had holes in it, and it was sewed back up after the holes came. It wasn't something brand new. And he was with his servants that would help him, and they only had one riding beast, one animal to ride on. One donkey. Okay? Imagine one car, but it only has one seat. Have you ever seen a one-seater car? Well, that's what a donkey was like. It was like a one-seater car, you can only have one person on it. So what would they do? Umar bin Khattab would go on it, and the servant would go and walk alongside. Then he would swap, and Umar bin Khattab would get off, and he's the ruler of the Muslim empire. He would get off and he would tell his servant, go on top. You ride now, it's your turn. And they would keep swapping like this, having turns up until they got to Al-Quds, Palestine. 1 month's journey like this. When they entered into the city, guess whose turn it was on the riding beast? Umar or the servant? The servant. Did Umar say, quickly, we're getting in the city, get off, I need to get back on? La. He let him, it was his turn, so he stayed, and Umar was walking. And he went into the city of Palestine like this. And then he went to the old rulers, the Christians, and he collected the keys. And the Muslims, they said to him, oh Umar, what are you doing? You've got these old clothes that you've sewn up, and you're letting the servant on the riding beast. He said, Inna kunna qawman We were a people that were humiliated and disgraced. We were nothing before. فَأَعَزَّنَا اللَّهُ بِالْإِسْلَامِ. Allah Azza wa Jal gave us honor. And He gave us dignity, and He raised our station with what? With Islam. When Islam came, Allah Azza wa Jal removed us from being disgraced, and He raised us up high. To the extent that all these nations, they respect us and the likes. He said, if we try to seek izzah, this honor, in anything other than Islam, then Allah will return us back to being disgraced. The only way to find honor and dignity and being raised is to do Islam, he said. Anyone that tries to seek with any other way, they will be disgraced. And so now looking at the athar and this narration of how Umar ibn Khattab was and how high his station was, and even then, the thing that he attributed this izzah and this honor that he had and this awe he had in the eyes of the people, to the point that even till today, you will have non-Muslim historians talking about Umar and his stories with awe, and they respect him and honor him. What gave him the honor? 1,000 years later after he's dead, except Islam. He said it is Islam. In another place, Umar ibn Khattab, he said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَيَرْفَعُ بِهَذَا الْكِتَابِ أَقْوَامًا وَيَضَعُ بِهِ آخَرِينَ. That Allah Azza wa Jal will raise some people with this book. Which book? The Quran. Some people, Allah Azza wa Jal will raise them through the Quran if they memorize it, if they act upon it, if they contemplate it, if they incorporate the values of the Quran in their life. وَيَضَعُ بِهِ آخَرِينَ. And Allah will disgrace others with it. If they try to memorize it, but they're doing it for the sake of the people to show off, or for money, or for other things other than the sake of Allah. Now, when we're in school, or college, or university, or even at work as adults, the work life that we live, how are we with regards to the pride that we have with Islam? Are we proud and we find pride in telling others and showing others with our actions Islam? The time for Salah comes, I'm praying. Someone sees you praying and they say, what are you doing? What's this movement you're doing? Are you trying to do, are you doing new gymnastics? Or and tell them, no, this is Salah, this is prayer, this is how I pray to my Lord. I'm a Muslim. When Salah time comes, do you go to the toilet to perform wudu? And if someone sees you, do you try to quickly hide it and say, what are you doing? Nothing. Why are you splashing your feet? Don't worry about it. Are you trying to hide it? Or do you say, I'm Muslim, alhamdulillah, we purify ourselves 5 times a day for the 5 daily prayers. When you're wearing, or the sisters, we have been commanded to wear the hijab, jilbab. Are you proud to wear your hijab and to cover yourself and to get reward from Allah for that command because Allah, our Creator, commanded us to do so? Or the quickest opportunity, we hide it, maybe we take it off, maybe. If the PE teacher says you can't wear hijab, we say, okay, no problem. Or do we push back and say, no, this is part of my religion, I have to. One of our students in the madrasa that we have, that we're proud of, sister, she's year 7 or year 8. They were told last year they're not allowed to wear hijab at sports anymore, or they have to wear trousers for sports or something like this. And they pushed back. They said, no, this is part of our religion, we can't wear trousers. He said, give me proof. I wrote some paper down. He didn't accept it. Had a meeting with the parents. And in the end, because of the pushback, he said, wear whatever you want. And so they weren't forced to wear it anymore. They could wear the hijab and jilbab properly. They're covering properly. This is being proud of your religion. That you don't compromise it for the slightest objection. So ask yourself, young and old, how are you with Islam? Many a time, especially as adults, even young. There was a child that came to me the other day. They were in year 9 or year 10. And he said, my friend in school, he wants to become a Muslim. And he took the Shahada. And the only thing that he saw from him was that he was praying and that he was doing these things. And he's saying, I'm a Muslim. And based upon that, he entered into Islam. And now his friend that become a Muslim, every time he prays and he reads Fatiha and he does charity, he will get the reward for it because he's the one that guided him, was a means for him to be guided. Be proud, my dear brothers and sisters, of your Islam. I promise you, the quicker that you feel that you embrace your identity, the easier things will be for you and the more respect people will show you. There's nothing like finding izzah and being comfortable in your own Islamic identity. I remember myself when I was in school and I started sixth form, and the sixth form was in the same school that I did secondary school that I studied for 5 years. And I decided to wear a thobe because once you go to sixth form you can wear whatever you want. I wore a thobe. First time I went to class, the whole class laughed. Mohammed, what are you doing? You're wearing a skirt. He's wearing a skirt. Why are you wearing a kilt? Why are you? And the whole school was laughing at me. And wallahi, it was so bad, I said, I'm never wearing a thobe again to school. But alhamdulillah, that night I slept and I woke up and I don't know, I had some inshirah al-sadr and I was like, am I doing for the people or am I doing for Allah? I'm wearing it. I went back again, everyone laughed. The first 2 weeks, people were just laughing every time they see it. But slowly, after 2 weeks, after 1 week and a half, the people's attitudes started changing. They started respecting you more. Teachers were coming to me. The PE teacher that never used to talk to me, now he's saying, Muhammad, respect. The other teachers, the other students that were laughing, now they're like, oh, this is serious. Okay, they started respecting. The amount of respect I got after that was unbelievable. Some of the teachers showed interest, they almost became Muslim. And so from then, I've never felt, alhamdulillah, that I've always tried to be finding pride in our Islamic identity. Even when I travel, I try to prove a point to myself and others that yes, you can travel with your thobe wherever you go. So I'm counting the countries now. It's been a number of countries. I've been to America, I've been to Finland, I've been to many countries. Alhamdulillah, I've never been stopped. I've never been looked at in a weird way. I went to Greece, Germany, Romania, Hungary. And when I went thobe, alhamdulillah, al-umur tayyibah. But when you're trying to fit in that tight suit that doesn't fit you, that you never wear, or you put your hijab off and you always wear hijab, you just look out of place. Be proud as a Muslim. Tayyib. Next point I want to move to, going back to school, is that as parents, we need to have with our children, and even us as adults, we need to have a daily routine, a daily dosage of our adhkar. That when we wake up in the morning, we read our dhikr. When we leave the house, we read our dhikr. What's the dhikr? The remembrance of Allah. Like, what do you say when you leave the house? Send. Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Do you want chocolate or water? Chocolate. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever says the dua, Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, then it will be said, Kufita wa waqita wa hudit. You have been protected, guided, and sufficed. To the point that one shaitan will warn another shaitan from you and they will say, hey, leave him alone. What are you going to do with someone that's being guided, protected, and sufficed? That you come back home, you say Bismillah. When you eat, that you say Bismillah. These minor things are all a protection for you. That when you go to sleep at night, that you read Ayatul Kursi. Ayatul Kursi, what happens if you read it at night? Who knows the reward? What happens if you read Ayatul Kursi at night? You get protected at night. Ahsan. By who? Allah, of course. And Allah sends down an angel. Ahsan. Allah sends down an angel to protect you and guard you the whole night if you read Ayatul Kursi. Shaitan doesn't eat food with you. He doesn't drink with you. He doesn't enter the house. If you say one word, which word? Ahsan. Is that a hard word or an easy word? Oh, sorry. Bad. Bismillah. Easy. We all know these adhkar. But ask yourself, how many of us perform these adhkar? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, the example of the one that remembers Allah, that does these adhkar, is like the example of someone that's being chased by their enemy. Imagine you're in a war and you're being chased by the army of your enemy. They're running after you. So you go into a castle, a fortress. You go in, you lock all the doors, it's fully secure. Is there any way that the shaitan's going to get to you? The enemy's going to get to you? Why? Because you're fortified. The gate, the fortress is closed. More chocolate here. The same way the enemy can't get to you because the castle and the fortress is closed. The Prophet ﷺ said that's the same example of the human being when they do the adhkar. You read your adhkar and your remembrance of Allah, then you will be protected from the shaitan. Now, al-mafhum al-mukhalafa, the opposite understanding of that is scary. Which is, if you haven't read your adhkar, that means you're outside of that fortress. That means if your enemy sees you outside of the fortress and you're not protected, what's going to happen to you? You're an easy target, you're an easy prey. Sah? It's the same for shaitan. If you don't have no protection, shaitan will stay in the house with you. If you don't say Bismillah, he will eat with you, he will drink with you. You will be left unprotected the whole night. When you leave the house and you don't read the adhkar, the shaitan, you're an easy target because you're not protected. And many people, tomorrow or a year later, when maybe a jinn possesses a person, or they get evil eye, or something occurs to them, if you look, 9 times out of 10, they never had no adhkar in their life. They were not protected. So it shows you the importance of your adhkar. Whether you're going to school, work, study, seeking knowledge, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Every Muslim needs to read the adhkar in order to be protected. So having your daily dosage, there's a few adhkar that you have to read every single day, that you can't leave. Is that clear? In order to be what? Protected. Okay? طيب. From the daily things that you should have in your routine is a daily portion of Quran. And so that includes 2 parts. So whether the kids are memorizing Quran. By the way, madrasa here, is it Saturday, Sunday or weekdays? Weekdays. Okay, Jameel. Weekends no madrasa. Jameel. Okay. Ala kulli hal, that a person should have a daily dosage of Quran. Whether that is reading the Quran every day for your memorization. And so every day, half an hour, 1 hour, they allocate to memorizing the Quran. And even if you're not memorizing Quran, you've already memorized the Quran as an adult or the likes, that you have a daily dosage of Quran that you recite. That you read 1 page a day, 1 juz a day. You have 24 hours. If you just gave 1 hour, 30 minutes to reciting the Quran, khair wa barakah. You will find nur, light and guidance and blessing in your life when you recite the Quran. You will find that Allah Azza wa Jalla will make your other affairs easy for you when you recite the Quran. It is mentioned by one of the scholars in the 7th century, Al-Diya al-Maqdisi, if I'm not mistaken, that he advised a student of his, and he was a student of knowledge that used to write down hadith. He said to him, recite the Quran, have a daily portion, a wird of the Quran. For indeed it will make your writing down of hadith easy for you. And so he started to read every day 1 juz. Then he lifted it higher up until it became 2, 3, 4. He said up until I managed to reach consistently 10 ajza every day. Meaning he finished the Quran in how many days? 3 days. Because the whole Quran is 30 juz. He would read 10 a day, so he would finish the Quran in 3 days. He said that when I did this, I would be able to write down so much hadith. It would be made easy for me. Everything would be made so easy for me, smooth. And the days that I would be a bit lazy and I would read less, then I would be able to only write less hadith. The more I read, the more I was able to write. The less I read, the less I was able to write. And this can be applied for your dunya as well. Shaykh Islam ibn Taymiyyah, he would say, if I was trying to understand something and it was made difficult for me, a mas'ala I didn't understand, I just couldn't get my head around it. He said I would seek forgiveness 1,000 times. Astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. I seek forgiveness from Allah. He would say astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah 1,000 times. And then he would say, Allah would open up for him and he would understand that thing. These things can be applied in your dunya as well. Whether you're memorizing Quran, you're studying your religion, you're learning how to do pray and the likes of these affairs, or you're doing maths, English and science. Something was difficult for you, what do you say? What do? Do you put headphones on and listen to the new music video that dropped and say, and I'll understand it? Or what?
Pray to Allah.
Or do istighfar, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Pray 2 rak'ahs. Maybe do a good deed, go help your parents. Maybe your parents will make dua for you. So a daily dosage of Quran and ibadah, Allah Azza wa Jalla will make things easy for you. Likewise, as parents, they should also have a routine for other activities with the children. And then maybe the masjid can play a part, or some of the youth of the masjid can play a part, where they have activities for the youth. Yes, mashallah, you have school, okay? Then you have madrasa, jameel. Maybe there can be a football club. Maybe there can be a weekly basketball session. Maybe for the sisters there could be a volleyball or badminton or something fun, swimming session. Al-Muhim, it's important that they have some other activity that balances everything else for them as part of their routine and their balance and time management. For the adhkar, it can go as a suggestion for the brothers and sisters that are helping and the teachers, that maybe they can make an adhkar program, a basic adhkar program for their children to learn. I've compiled a PDF, 1 page, 2 page, of all the adhkar that are basic, that begin with Bismillah or Alhamdulillah. So maybe I can send it to the brothers and they can start with something like this or something similar to it. An adhkar program that they can finish in 1 week or 2 weeks, that they can apply easily in their life. The next affair that I want to mention is as-suhbatu salihah, the importance of companionship, the people that you have around you as friends. This again can be applied for young and old. Sometimes when we are at school or university or college or even at work, we're put in a place to be with certain people for certain amounts of hours that is out of our control. It's not our choice to be with them or to be sitting next to them or to be working with them. So what can we do? فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Fear Allah Azza wa Jalla as much as you are able. Make sure that those colleagues and friends that you have at school, some of them might be good, some of them might be bad, that you are not friends by choice after school hours or work hours. Meaning, if you have a friend that, or a colleague should I say, at school or work, that is known for doing haram things, mischievous in doing haram things or criminal activity or the likes of these affairs, you shouldn't choose to be friends with them outside of schools. It's not an excuse to say, well, they're my friend in school. Pick and be picky and selective who you pick as friends. Why? Who can answer why? Why should you be careful in friends that you pick? They might be bad. Ahsant, what else?
They could be a bad influence.
Ahsant, it could be a bad influence. Ahsant, what else?
They can lead you to doing bad stuff.
Ahsant, they can lead you to doing bad things. Ahsant. What else? You never got chocolate yet. Did you get chocolate? Yeah, you two already got chocolate. Ahsant, all of you are correct. By the way, there's sisters, there's girls, madrasa girls. Afterwards, we have to do question answers for them. They've got no chocolate. They have to get chocolate after. It's only fair. After, inshallah, we're going to ask you the sisters questions as well, inshallah. Companionship, the Arab, they say, as-sahibu sahib. That the friend, the company that you keep, your companionship is a sahib. Someone that pulls you. Pulls you to what? To wherever they're upon. If they are good, they will pull you towards good. If they're bad, they will cause you and pull you towards that which is bad. And a person is upon the way of their closest friends. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, الْمَرْءُ عَلَى دِينِ خَلِيلِهِ فَلْيَنْظُرْ أَحَدُكُمْ مَنْ يُخَالِلُ. A person is upon the religion of his friend. So let one of you look to whom you take as a close friend. It's dangerous. That person is upon the religion and the way of their closest friends. If your closest friends outside of school hours and work hours is someone that does criminal activity and steals from the people and lies and cheats and does all types of haram, and that's your closest friends, your 5 closest friends are like this, then you're definitely going to be affected by that. If you don't do that today, tomorrow you will fall into one of those sifat and characteristics that you have. Is that clear? The Arabs, they would say, الطيور على أشكالها تقع. That birds of a feather flock together. And that there is the story of a woman that used to make other people laugh. She was a clown and a comedian. One time, she visited Mecca. She was from Mecca and she visited Medina. And she didn't have any acquaintances and people she knew in Medina. And so she mixed with the people and she ended up staying with a person that was exactly like her, a comedian and a clown. And so the Prophet ﷺ, Aisha said, Sadaqa hibbi. Aisha said that my beloved messenger, my beloved one, the Messenger ﷺ, he spoke the truth when he said, Al-arwahu junudun mujannadah, ma ta'arafa minha i'talaf wa ma tanakara minha ikhtalaf. That the souls, they are like scripted soldiers. You know, you have soldiers of an army. They're scripted on this side, let's say a blue army, and this side a yellow army. They're scripted. They've already been enlisted in this army, so they know each other. They have the same uniform, صح? And this side has the same uniform. ما تعارف منها ائتلف. If they meet each other and they get along, then they will have harmony and peace. Someone with a blue uniform, he gets lost and you see someone with another blue uniform, are they going to fight or are they going to be friends? You're friends, صح? ائتلف. They have harmony, peace. They get along. وَمَا تَنَاكَرَ مِنْهَا اِخْتَلَفْ. And those that are separate in their characteristics and the way they are, if they see each other, they will not get along, they will clash. And so, based upon this hadith and the other hadith that we have mentioned, if you are someone that's trying to be upon the upright religion of Allah, someone that's trying to get the pleasure of Allah, someone that's trying to go to paradise and Jannah, trying to pray your 5 daily prayers, trying to stay away from haram, then you will only mix and get along and have harmony with someone that is similar to you. So be selective. When you have friends, make sure they pray the 5 daily prayers. Make sure they stay away from listening to music. Make sure. Because these friends, they're going to have an effect upon you. And the opposite is true. Stay away from the people that have these adverse and detrimental effects upon you. طيب. 2 more things I want to mention that's pertinent for the kids and then some points for the parents. An important aspect of our lives, the only action that was revealed not on earth. What actions do you know? What actions of good deeds you know? Is fasting a good deed?
Yes.
Charity a good deed?
Yes.
Listening to your parents a good deed?
Yes.
These are all good deeds, sir. Tell me of a good deed that the Prophet ﷺ was never told and it was not revealed to him while he was on earth. He had to leave earth and then this action was revealed to him. You know, 2 chocolates. The girls as well. If the girls know, then they can tell their teacher maybe. Huh? Hands. Hey, mashallah. First girl, come. I can't throw 2 of you. Accent. The sisters. Huh? Prayer, accent. Okay. Mashallah. Pass 2. Yeah, 2. 1. Sorry. And 2. Jazakallah khair. طيب. No, only one. There's only one action. Memorize this. The only action that was not revealed whilst the Prophet ﷺ was on earth is the salah. When was it revealed? On the night journey, al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. The Prophet ﷺ was approached by Jibreel. His chest was cut open. His heart was taken out for the second time. And it was cleansed with Zamzam water. Then it was put back into his heart. Then it was stitched closed. Then he went on a buraq. A buraq, a riding beast that's faster than Ferrari and Bugatti and whatever other cars you have today. How fast does it travel? It travels as far as the eye sees. If you can see all the way to that mountain, that's the step that it takes. Up until you got to Masjid al-Aqsa in Palestine. May Allah free it. Then from there he was raised to the heavens, above the seven heavens, and then up to Sidratul Muntaha, the tree of no return, and then he went past it. And when he went past it here, even Jibreel was not allowed to pass the tree of no return, the low tree. He went past it, and there Allah Azza wa Jalla revealed to him the prayers. It started as 50, then it got reduced to 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, and it became 5. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, 5 for the reward of 50. These are the daily prayers. The only action that was revealed whilst the Prophet ﷺ was out of earth. Is that clear? Yeah. This action that's so important, Allah Azza wa Jalla had to reveal it above the seven heavens, above Sidratul Muntaha. And it's the second pillar of Islam. How are we supposed to be with the Salah? Is it an excuse to miss the prayer if you're at school? Is it an excuse to miss the prayer if you're at work? La wallah, it's not an excuse. And so, the salah la yasqut with the excuse of I'm at work, I'm at school, I can't pray. La. Salah is fard upon every single Muslim. Young and old, but the young, they start from the age of 7, and that's the training time up until they're 10. From 7 to 10, they're practicing it's not obligatory, but they have to start practicing. And after 10, they have to do it consistently. So if you're above 10, if you're above 13, then you have to pray even if you're in secondary school. Like, how do I pray at school? People will look at me, people will judge me, people. The Prophet ﷺ, he's given a great reward for the one that performs good deeds at times of difficulty. If it's difficult and you still do it, you get even more reward than usual. What are some ways you can do? Make wudu in the toilet. Say, I'm going to the toilet. Are you allowed to leave the toilet when you're in your class? Hi. You're allowed to go to the toilet? Sah. When you're in class, you're allowed to go to the toilet. You're not allowed to go to the toilet? How old are you?
12.
How old are you? 7. You're not allowed to go when you're 7 to the toilet by yourself. You're not allowed to go to the toilet?
Yeah, in class.
You are allowed. You're not allowed. Okay, fine. 7 years old, you're still practicing time, no problem. After 10, when you're in secondary school, anyway, year 7 and above, if you say I need to go to the toilet, you're allowed to go to the toilet. Sah? Sah. Then go to the toilet, make wudu. Before you go back to class, put your jacket down on the floor or your blazer on the floor. Pray 4 rak'ahs quickly. How do you know which way to Qibla is? You have a phone? You know Google Maps? Open your Google Maps or iPhone Maps. There's a line, you see the blue lines? Not the blue line, the blue shining ray light. You see it? That's not what I'm talking about. You know the blue shining ray? What does it show? The direction that you're facing. You're with me now, khalas. Look for, zoom out of UK. You can see UK. Look for southeast. Make that light face southeast. When you get to southeast, you'll be facing Saudi Arabia. That's the Qibla. So get your phone out, check it. You don't have to check it one time, you don't have to do it every day. Just check it one time, now you know where you are. Then khalas, you pray your 4 rak'ahs quickly. If you're at work, likewise, there's no excuse. The only excuse for someone at work would be, for example, a dire necessity like a surgeon. A a surgeon and there's not many surgeons and you're doing a surgery and the surgery is lasting 4 or 5 hours, this is the only time, for example, there's an excuse. What do? فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. You fear Allah as much as you can. You can pray Dhuhr and Asr together. You can pray Maghrib and Isha together. If you're a surgeon and there's no one else that can cover you, and you have to be in the surgery room for that example. And something similar to that. As for anything else, does not die a necessity, life and death, that's what necessity is. The surgery, the person is left alone, they could die. So anything that's not life and death, then there is no excuse. You have to try to make your salah happen and fear Allah as much as you are able. The last thing I want to mention for the kids is peer pressure. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ بِpeer pressure. If you're young and you don't know what peer pressure is, alhamdulillah, inshallah you don't find it. If you're in secondary school, you probably already found out what peer pressure is. Peer pressure is when you don't want to do something, but others are pushing you, egging you on to do something that you don't want to do, something that's maybe bad. For example, what? For example, smoking. Smoking is haram? Yes, smoking is haram. Why? Because smoking kills. It says in the packet, smoking kills, sah? Allah says, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Do not kill yourself. So smoking is haram. Sah? Let alone that it stinks and it wastes your money as well. So let's say there's someone in your class, a class clown, and he gets the cigarettes out. They try to tell you, Bilal, here, have one smoke. No, haram, I can't have it. Oh, you can't have it, yeah? You can't handle it. Oh, you're scared, and you're such a wussy, you're scared. You can't have a smoke. And they keep egging you and pressuring you. And then you say, no, I can do it. I'm not scared, I can do it. And you do it. What's that called? Peer pressure. Or a sister has a hijab on, and they try to tell, why don't you just show your hair? Don't you have good hair? No, they try to tell you different things to try and make you take off your hijab. And they pressure you. Maybe they don't call you names until you take it off. This is called peer pressure. Look, 2 things that I'm going to mention. First of all, especially when you're growing up, make sure that you know your Muslim identity and you're proud of it. When you know who you are, you don't need anyone else to tell you who you are. If someone else has problems that they need to show off to other people in order to get validation, in order to feel good about themselves, in order for this or that, to prove that I'm strong, to prove that I'm brave, to prove they do haram things, then you know yourself. You don't need that stuff. Sah? Some people, they might be excused. Maybe they come from a family that is broken. Maybe they have difficulties at home. Maybe. But you don't have those issues. Do you have that problem? In your house, is electricity working? Yes or no? Did you have breakfast this morning? Yes or no? Do you have enough clothes to keep you away from the rain and the cold? Yes or no? You sure? So if you're good, maybe that person doesn't have that. Don't be peer pressured to following and being a sheep because of somebody else's insecurities. You know yourself, you know your Muslim identity, you know what you're here for. Are you here to learn how to do maths, English and science, or are you here to show off to people and to prove your point? You're here for a specific reason. Number 2, that when peer pressure occurs, if you stand your ground and you say, no, I'm not doing it, you can do it yourself, I'm not doing it. When you stand your ground 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, people will stop bothering you. They'll say, this person is serious, he doesn't mess around with this stuff. They will leave you alone. But if you give in now, and you become a sheep that follows the crowd, then tomorrow something else will come. The day after, something else will come. And it will never stop. So stay away from peer pressure. and say no for the sake of Allah, and may Allah Azza wa Jalla give you something that is better. And that's not just smoking, that can include music, that can include other things, immodesty and other things that we haven't mentioned. But for the parents, just one or two things I want to mention before I round up. For the parents and those that are guardians, that they are present in the life of their children, especially fathers, that they are present in the life of their children. That if your parents are alive and you have healthy children, that you should be present. And sadly, the culture of many different cultures is that the father does the least amount of presence, that he does the school drop off, or khalas. It drops into madrasa and khalas. There's no interaction, there's no questions, there's no involvement in the life of the child. So parents, be present. Fathers, give attention to your children, especially your daughters. Give attention to your children now when they seek your validation alone and seek your approval alone. Because if you don't give them that now, they might seek it from other places. A survey was done on why many boys join gangs, and it's mentioned that, and it always comes up, that one of the main reasons why they join gangs and they do drugs and they do crime, the thing that pushes them to go into gangs is because they feel a sense of brotherhood. They have the sense of family. They have someone that's looking after them, giving them attention. They didn't have that with their parents or their siblings. And then most people that come from households where the parents are involved and they give them that approval, they don't have no need to seek that approval and validation from a gang or somewhere else. Likewise for sisters, that when their parents and their family members give them their validation and approval that they don't need to post pictures of themselves without a hijab on social media, seeking likes and validation and approvals from others. And so there's a lot that we can play, especially starting at home as parents and older siblings, with our children to protect them from gangs and different things that exist in the society that we live in today, which is a reality. The next thing is, alongside being present, that we nurture and cultivate our children upon a balance of love and discipline. That it's not all about, especially this can go for the madrasa Quran teachers. Now, there was a time when a lot of children that went through madrasa had a bad taste and sour taste in their mouth with the Deen. Why? Because the only thing the Quran teachers was telling them is, if you don't do this, or if you do this, you will get punished. If you do this, you'll go hellfire. If you do this, you'll get detention. If you do this, you'll get hit. Back in the day, you guys are okay. Do you guys get hit? Don't say yes, please. I'm sure none of you get hit. But back in our day, when we were young, it was a different world where people used to get hit. طيب, على كل حال, this whole thing of trying to only do discipline through punishment, through fear-mongering, is not something that is productive, especially with the new generation that we live in today. Islam is based upon a balance of love and discipline. That we have paradise mentioned in the Quran and hellfire. If hellfire is mentioned, paradise is not far from being mentioned. If paradise is mentioned, hellfire is not far from being, because you have that balance of hope and fear. You have a balance of it. The hope keeps you going, and that love keeps you going to perform good deeds, and that fear that you know that Allah Azza wa Jalla likewise punishes those that fall into sins, keeps you in check from falling into sins. So where's that balance with our madrasas and as parents, that we always try to, and if we can, especially with the younger ones, that we try to give more incentives than punishments. In our madrasa, maybe the teachers are going to take tips from this. In our madrasa, if someone finishes the Quran, we'll give you £1,000. One girl finished the Quran, she got £1,000. Another one's about to finish soon, we'll give you £1,000. طيب. If you finish one juz, 20 pages, don't finish one juz, you get a test of 3 questions, because you have to revise that whole juz again. If you answer 3 random questions anywhere in that juz, you get £20. Every time you finish a juz, you get £20. If you answer questions, hard questions in the Islamic studies class, I'll give you £1. The younger kids that do qa'idah, if they finish the qa'idah book, they get £10. وهكذا. Okay, a lot of money flying, yeah? But these are incentives. It doesn't have to be money, but it's incentives. Incentive works. Promise you, incentives works. When I started teaching, I tried to do the old way, the way that we were taught. When we were taught, we were told, learn, memorize Hadith Jibreel. And our teacher sat at the door. I said, no one's leaving. Next week, he said, for next week. Next week we came, no one memorized Hadith Jibreel. He said, anyone memorized? No one memorized. He sat by the door, there's only one door out of the place. No one is leaving today up until you read Hadith Jibreel. Even if it reaches 10 o'clock, we used to finish at 6. Even if it reaches 10 p.m., I will drop all the children one by one at home and he will do it, promise. He did it before. No one left that place except that they memorized Hadith Jibreel. Like I tried this with my kids. This is a new generation. This is tips for the parents and the teachers. I told them by Sunday you have to read your Hadith Jibreel off by memorization. Saturday came, no one memorized. I said, I'll promise you, I'll give you till this long. They already gave up there. They said, Ma'alim, can I bring my duvet and pillow? So I changed it. It was by accident I changed it. I saw another kid and I said, he memorized half. I said, if you finish, I'll give you £10. He tried to finish. And he said, oh, it's hard, man. I said, I'll give you £20 if you finish today. He finished. And in front of all the other kids, the older kids, I gave him £20. Then the idea came. I said, anyone that memorized Hadith Jibreel tomorrow, all of it, they get £10. If they memorize half, they get £1. They said, Ma'alim, why do you make half £5? I said, no, take it or leave it. One page, £1, the full hadith, £2. The next day, no one knew it Saturday. The next day, 17 people learned the full hadith. They gave out £170 the next day. And another 10 people done half of it. Which shows you that kids, they are more than able. They just need the right incentive and encouragement. Okay? And this works. So incentives, after that, the last 2 years, I really believe that incentives is way better than punishment. There's discipline. There has to be discipline still. Whether it's lines, whether it's whatever detention that they get. But incentive is way more productive and will bring more results. So being mindful of that. Another advice, especially to parents and guardians, is to be a role model at home. If you want your kids to be good, you be good first. Lead by example. If you want the kids to memorize Quran, then read Quran at home. If you never pick up the Quran, how can you expect your children to read the Quran? If you want them to pray, make sure you pray. Make sure that whatever situation you're in as a parent, you always pray and you show them that. That the mother wears her hijab properly in front of the children. Whenever they're going out, because you are the role model. But for argument's sake, children, let's say your parents were. You still have to seek a role model in the Prophet ﷺ. He's our main role model. As parents, this is something that's important, they need to pay attention to. Last thing that I will mention is the balance of the deen and the dunya. That many parents, they will give blood, sweat and tears, money and a lot of time to the secular studies and to their dunya studies. And there's no problem in this. English, maths and science and tuition and extra studies, no problem. But it is a problem when you're only doing that for the secular studies and you're not doing the same effort for their religious, spiritual aspect. You're not doing that for their growth Islamically, in their deen. If any money is spent, it's the least amount. How much is the madrasa here? How much a month? 30. It's £30. Only 30. Inshallah. It's £30 and still some parents say, 30 is so much, brother, give me this £20, £25. I can't pay this month, I'll pay next month. صح؟ صح ولا لا؟ طيب. The tuition, £50, £20 an hour, £70 a month. Okay, تفضل. We're going to put the price up to £80. No problem, here. Time, madrasa. It starts, what time do you guys start? 5 p.m. weekdays. 5:30, no problem, Ustadh, it's okay, I was traffic, brother. 5:30, 6 o'clock. Brother, never again 6 o'clock. Next day, every day 6 o'clock, 5:30. Tuition, school, 30 minutes early. Why? This is the problem that I have. The problem is the mindset that we have for when it comes to Deen is, if I get extra time, khair or barakah, is not that important. That's what you're showing to your children, and that's what you're showing others when you do this. If they get time, then inshallah khair or barakah, I'll put them in madrasa, inshallah, let them. If they memorize, don't memorize, it's okay, brother. If they come late, don't come late, brother, it's okay. Brother, I pay for your salary, brother, I will take my children out. They start threatening you. But school, tuition, money, direct debit, mashallah, all the money's paid. Time, you have to wake up 1 hour early, you have to be on the road 30 minutes, you have to be there 10 minutes first, you have to be safal, you have to be, make sure you sit at the front. Homework all done. Madrasa, no energy, no money spent, no time spent. Revision, they only read when they come to madrasa. The whole week they don't read. They only come when 5:30 they start learning. This shows you that there is no balance. And I tell you, wallahi, many of the parents that have this mindset, they end up losing both. They end up losing their children and they don't get both. And they don't get the deen and they don't get the dunya. And wallahi, I've seen many examples of parents that had that balance. Maybe they even gave more effort to the deen, and the child gets both. Billahi alaykum. If the child is being taught maths, English and science only, and he doesn't have no clue about salah, Allah, muraqabah, Allah's watching him, he doesn't know nothing, man. Just focus English. And in public school, it's a zoo. There's every Tom, Dick and Harry, every good and bad person and ta'ban person mixed with your children. La qattar Allah. May Allah protect our children. But they mix with the wrong crowd. And they don't have no self-defense. They don't have no religion. They don't have no knowledge. They don't have no self-defense. And they get affected. And tomorrow he says, you know, I want to be the biggest drug dealer in the whole city. Billahi alayk. What are you going to do? It's not going to continue your dream of going to university, nor is he even praying. But how many examples have we seen of kids that are focused on their, just if we did a survey of collecting, maybe one top person can do it, suggestion. Someone does a survey of 100 kids that memorized the Quran when they were young, in primary school or in secondary school, and look and compare with their GCSE grades. Check with their college grades. Check with the university where they are. 100 kids, maybe from different cities. And compare them to another 100 kids that never went to a madrasa at all. They never had no Islamic background. It doesn't just mean Quran memorization, just no knowledge at all. Compare the two and see the masir and the end goal of this one and the end goal of this one, just in comparison. You will see that the ones that excel majority of the time, if they've memorized Quran or they've learned the basics of their religion and they went to a madrasa and they have a strong connection to their religion, they love their religion, they are proud of who they are, They will push themselves. You don't even need to tell them where to go. He knows this, I want to do this, I like this in college, I want to do this, and university I want to do this so I can work, and then later, maybe I can give charity from this money. He's going to push himself, you don't even need to push him. And I'll end as this last note. The biggest goal of the madaris today in the West, I believe, Wallahu ta'ala alam, especially in the UK that we have here, there are, apart from a few odd places that are doing very well, but the majority of the places, it's not a matter of getting them to become huffaz, mutqineen in the hifz of the Quran. That is a bonus. And that is something that we celebrate, that we're proud of, that we encourage. But the reality is, what we need from 100% of all the children that are studying the madaris is for them to love their religion. It's for them to say, I love my deen. I am proud to be a Muslim. I proudly pray, and the sister, I proudly wear my hijab. That I'm proud of this. That I love to be a Muslim. That is not forced upon me. Why? Once you get that, then you can get anything else after. They will be the ones that will be pushing themselves. They can stay with you 1 year, 2 years in the madrasa. Maybe they'll move to another country. Because they love their religion, they will stick by way of it. And the person that knows themselves and knows that which is beneficial for them, they're the ones that are going to go and succeed in their secular studies as well. And so my goal is, parents, teachers, my advice would be kind, soft, disciplined. At the same time, disciplined. It's not a joke that the madrasa is a class clown and there's only games all the time and there's only fun activities 24/7 and there's no study. No, there is learning. There's active learning. We have to memorize something. We have to learn the basis of our fiqh. We have to learn who Allah is. We have to do these things properly. But we have a fun time as well. There's discipline and there's fun. There's actual education and then there's time for fun. In that way, inshallah ta'ala, we will have children that are nurtured, that will grow and loving their religion and the likes. Alhamdulillah, in our madrasa, we're starting to see some fruits of that now. We had last year, at the end of last year, some parents that wanted to take their kids out of the madrasa. And I said, no problem, Allah yuwaffiqkum. And soon after they messaged me back, they said, we are coming back to the madrasa. Why? Because the oldest, the girl that I have, she said, I am not leaving the madrasa, I want to stay here, I love going to madrasa, but we can't take you anymore. I will go there even if I catch a bus by myself. So then her brother said, okay, khalas, okay. She brought her back. There was another 2 kids similar like this. There was one boy that didn't do his Quran for many weeks. So I said, listen, this is not happening. This you're taking us for a mockery. If you continue like this, I have to kick you out of the madrasa. He started to cry. I don't want to leave, please give me another chance. Before, if we were told you have to leave the madrasa, we'd be like, alhamdulillah, leave the madrasa, extra time to play. But for them to want to come shows you that the fruits of loving their religion and wanting to come is something that is khair. And they're not, it's not like they're actually learning, they've got tests, they've got PowerPoint presentations, and like. So we hope that this is something that others can benefit from and others can, inshallah, make better, hopefully. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد. Any questions? There's a QR code on a wall, on this wall, and that wall as well, and the girls, the sisters as well. So we can ask a question and answer. You can ask a question through the QR code. How do I stay away from bad friends without hurting their feelings? Good question. How do I stay away from bad friends without hurting their feelings? Maybe I recognize that this person is not good for me, but how can I say to them, I don't want to be your friend anymore, and then they get hurt? But naturally, if you are into 2 different things, that you pray and they don't pray, if they're Muslim, tell them, listen, pray, we have to pray as Muslims, and I want to be around people that pray all the time, so please pray. If they're going to listen to you, and you're going to be driving the car, and they're going to be a passenger seat, and they're going to listen to you, and they're going to start praying, and this is khair. But if they say, no, I can't pray, no, then say, look, I need to pray. Sorry. 1 time, 2 times, you don't need to be direct, but indirectly they will slowly slowly drift away from you. As the hadith mentions, ما تعارف منها ائتلف ما تناكر منها اختلف. And I don't ever remember as a person that was at school that I ever said to them, yeah, okay, we're not being friends anymore. It's just naturally drift away. If you are upon a certain way, I am about praying my prayer, being good to my religion, being good to my parents, being upright, they're going to slowly drift if they're not upon the same path as you. So sometimes you don't have to say it directly. Best time table for full students who want to learn Islam and become alims. Full-time students. I don't know if this is a school, secondary school, college, university, but ala kulli hal, that whatever free time that you have quality time in those times that you are free. So Monday to Thursday or Monday to Friday you have madrasa, 5 to 5:30 to 5 o'clock to whenever your madrasa finishes. This is madrasa time. The weekend I have 48 hours, 2 full days that I'm free. Okay, there's no madrasa, there's no school. What do I do then? There's a lesson in the masjid once a week. Let me go to the lesson. If there's a college or a institute I can join online and follow good beneficial lessons with online, then follow it. 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week. وهكذا up until you slowly grow. If you want to do full-time Quran, then maybe you can come to the Imam of the masjid or someone that's from the Hufad of the community, and you can read to them and make a special program tailored to your timetable so that you can benefit. على كل حال, whatever time and slot that you have available, you make it work. من جد وجد. Whoever, another translation could be or similar to it, for every will there's a way. If you really want to benefit, then you push, you ask, you search, you will find. How do I give da'wah in school? Best way to give da'wah in school or work is by way of your actions. That you, by your actions, are giving da'wah. How? That you pray when you need to pray. If someone asks you, said, this is prayer, I pray 5 times a day to my Creator. This is the least I can do to my Lord that created me, nurtured me, gave me all the things that I have in this life. The least I can do is pray the 5 daily prayers. So this is what I'm doing. That you wear the hijab. Why do you wear that thing over your head? This is a covering. Allah told us to cover us out of modesty so we're not harmed by other people and the likes of these affairs. That you mention this to them when you are asked. You don't need to go out of your way and say to the people, listen, what do you believe in? Are you Christian? Yeah, how can you believe? You don't have to do that. You can do it with your actions. Then they will be curious and they will start asking. And when they ask you, just be honest. You say, I do it for this reason. And if that continues to happen, perhaps they will be interested and ask you some questions, and then maybe you can give them a mushaf of the Quran or a book about the basics of Islam or a pamphlet of the likes. But how do I have this love and attachment for the Deen? Some people make you run away from the Deen. That you don't, Ahsant, this is a good question. That you don't look at the people. You're not being upright and close to the Deen because of the people. Because the people are doing it, or the people in the masjid are bringing me close, or they're not bringing me close. You don't care about the people. You're doing it for Allah. You're doing it to attain Jannah. You're doing it to get reward. You're doing this to better yourself in this life and the hereafter, to follow the Prophet ﷺ. Even if all the people were bad, you should say, I'm still going to be good. Because you don't follow the people. You're not a sheep. You're a leader in your own lane. That you try to follow the Prophet ﷺ as much as you can. So don't be a sheep. Don't be someone that says yes to everything. Learn your religion and love it. And at the same time, an advice to people that are in places of position and people that occupy the masajid, especially the older generation, that they are welcoming and accommodating to the youth and the children that come to the masjid. It doesn't matter what they're wearing. It doesn't matter what mistakes that they're making. Make them feel welcome in the masjid. If they come to the masjid and they have a scissor cut haircut and all of this is up and the rest is, don't say to them, what's wrong with you? Brother, are you crazy? You have to cut your hair. You can't come to the, are you Muslim? Bring them close. Say, mashallah, you attended the masjid, mashallah, good, come. Bring them close. Mu'adh ibn Jabal, he would lead the prayer and he would make the prayer long. Up until one of the companions came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, O Messenger of Allah, I come to the masjid to the prayer late on purpose because the prayer is so long. So the Prophet ﷺ, he got so angry. The Prophet ﷺ, he got so angry. And he said, إِنَّ مِنْكُمْ لَمُنَفِّرِينَ. Indeed, from amongst you are people that run the people away. So don't make the people run away from the religion by making things